the one and only Vivo.
Vivo is a film inspired by a love of music, Cuban culture, and the art of cinematography. For the artists at Sony Pictures Imageworks, our lighting strategy included using non-realistic materials, but having practical light sources and heavy lighting contrast in dramatic moments. A brushstroking technique was created to enhance our depth of field and give shots a slightly painterly feel, which helped bring a stage performance quality to the scenes. For the musical sequence My Own Drum, a chalk shading technique was developed to take lighting values and replace them with chalk patterns to create light and shadow for the environment. We paid special attention to the lighting of our dark-skinned characters, which meant avoiding common techniques like adding sheen to the skin to get volume. Instead, we used indirect lighting techniques to enhance volume and keep the shadows soft. Our effects and simulations teams were busy supporting the movement of our characters, from the flowing hair and cloth of our heroes and supporting cast, to the rigid pieces of stone and minerals that served as Luchador the snake's scales. Subtle plant motion, sand, and water make up most of the invisible effects work that adds texture and life to our environments. To create a dramatic storm sequence, particle and volumetric effects were layered in to enhance the ferocity of the surge and show its destruction. Every plant, trunk, branch, and leaf was blown by waves of wind, with rain and dense mist helping add a sense of depth and speed, which in turn enhanced the drama of our heroes being separated. Representing all the glamour and passion of old-school Havana, Andreas is the beating heart of Vivo. Voiced by Juan DeMarcos, the renowned Cuban-born musician and founding member of the Buena Vista Social Club, he gave Andreas the authenticity of a life lived performing in Havana, Cuba. Our challenge was to bring that authenticity to every part of his performance. Every chord played, every drum hit on screen was referenced from professional musicians. We also worked with a choreographer for the dance sequences to have the right rhythms and types of dance that were believable for his character and the region. We built several new tools to create the fantasy look seen in the Mambo Cabana sequence, including a new drawing tool to add tens of thousands of lines to every single shot. The sets for the journey to and the interior of the Mambo Cabana were fully modeled to make basic volumes of the graphic shapes. Animators also hand-sculpted the clothing silhouettes on each frame to get a more stop-motion feel to the movement, and then augmented every frame of the 3D animation with hand-drawn line work to add a sizzle of life and capture the bold, impressionistic style of our character. To keep the 2D art intact but bring the 3D to life, we replaced the line work with dots that were resampled frame to frame, ensuring that they never overlapped and spacing between the dots was never lost. Motion was added to the shapes, giving them a feel of moving lights and highlights being reflected off crystals. And additional compositing effects were added to keep the environment alive and magical, allowing graphic bouquet shapes to appear as needed. All of these methods combine to create a spectacle of color and shape, harkening back to the UPA style of 2D animation, but executed in 3D to allow for dynamic camera movement. These fantasy moments, combined with stylized environments, authentic characters, and a pursuit of filmic lighting styles, instilled our story with wonder, beauty, and heart.